And it does have one little secret. This here, copper tubing. Certainly not OEM.
Before we go bolting on the turbocharger upgrade, I just wanted to show you what I've got.
Hello everybody, and welcome to our EVO 9 wagon build. This car, well, I've owned it for over 2 years now, and a little bit of history on it. It is a 2005 Mitsubishi EVO wagon. Very rare car. Not a lot of these were made, and it is a right-hand drive vehicle. No wagons were made in left-hand drive, unfortunately. And it does have one little secret that I will show you that I don't exactly love, but I'm not mad about in a moment. But before that, let me tell you how I stumbled upon this car. I am a wagon lover. I love wagons. I love the utility of them. And this one was available from our buddy Craig at Bonsai Rides, who is a JDM importer. And we went down to pick up a car. And when I was there, I saw this thing and fell in love with it. How could you not? Like, this is so cool. And as for price point, this thing was a steal way back when. So before prices went through the roof, this was $14,000 Canadian. So basically $11,000 US, which is a smoking deal. And here in Canada, we have a 15-year import rule compared to 25 years in the US, which means these cars are importable, and that's why I have a 2005 here, because this would not be able to be importable in the US. This wagon is actually pretty low mileage with 89,000 kilometers on it, which is around 55,000 miles. And here is the one drawback I know so many of you aren't gonna love. It has an automatic transmission. And that is certainly not ideal for the enthusiast, but I'm going to say we did drive this vehicle and we found it extremely good and actually pretty fun with the automatic. So if you guys stick around to the end of the series, I'm willing to bet that you're going to see why this car is pretty awesome with the automatic. I'm not gonna do a manual swap. I just feel like the automatic needs to get a fighting chance, and then if I don't love it, maybe we'll do a manual swap in the future, but for now, we're sticking with the automatic. And this car is all stock, so you can see stock airbox and stock everything, so we've got a pretty good plan for a build list on this vehicle. Even exterior-wise, it is very stock, but you can see for, you know, a relatively low mileage car, there are things like this, which I don't love, and we're gonna have to restore. A little bit of fading in a bunch of the metal, same with some of the grills up front. The lights, well, we've got some replacements for that. And small little nicks and dings here and there. You know, fading on the cowl cover, the wipers, which we can take care of. And this is such a contentious issue. I know so many people that love or hate these like covers for the windows.
Hate them.
These are a little faded, so I don't love them. And I'm likely gonna get rid of them. This for sure has to go. You can see someone has put on like a dark chrome trim here, and it's already starting to peel. There's weird things like these little, you know, I think door guards that somebody's put on. Little different, and I don't know, I'm 95% positive this trim piece here is stock. I don't like it. It's just a weird thing they added on here to kind of distinguish this wagon. However, I do love the rear end of this car. It is just like so cool. Check out this, like the way this comes out for the fender arch and line in the rear. To me, it just looks so cool. If you guys haven't guessed it already, there is a turbo upgrade coming, which is why I started removing all of this. And the first thing that Dave and I noticed was this here, copper tubing. Certainly not OEM. Seems like this was either a fix for what possibly could have been like a hard line like this that went up into this area for the transmission. So the hoses that run to this are from the automatic transmission, and there is an automatic transmission cooler right here. So this must be some auxiliary one or something like that. We're gonna try to figure out what was there originally. We will get to the bottom of this and let you guys know. You guys saw we removed the entire intercooler, the radiator, and one thing I did notice about the turbo intake, I will show you right now. These are the things that you learn as you go here. With the automatic gearbox, you can see there is a rather large dipstick here, and this is different than the manual one. I've never seen an intake tube on an EVO that has this like weird bend here. Now it makes sense. This is an HKS one that I had lying around here, and trying to put this on, I was hoping we could use it, but you can see it hits here quite badly, so it's not going to work, sadly. This is something you never really want to see on a car. Someone has done some wiring. Wiring to me, no good. Thankfully it's not hooked up to anything, but instead of removing it, they left it in here, DP. That is a very un-Japanese thing to do, right?
Yeah, look at this mess.
Look at this mess here. Look at this mess. Here. Somebody just went, oh, forget it, I'll just wrap it around, and now I'm just gonna chop it all off.
Like an alarm system?
I can't imagine it was an alarm system if it ran down here. I do admire the oil cooler though. Like, look at the size of this thing. These cars, you know, they certainly were built for performance, and even the oil pan, guys, I noticed has what is a skid plate on it, which is like super cool. And now it is time we start the process of removing the turbo and the exhaust manifold. You guys saw yesterday I sprayed a little bit of fluid film on here. A day has passed. I just wanted it to soak because a lot of this stuff is looking not necessarily super rusty, but just like heat cycled to the point where it's tight. I gotta get the O2 sensor off here. I was trying to take this lower shield off, and let's see if I got my O2 sensor socket on there, and oh man.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Get the pipe, DP.
That's it.
Let's see. Sometimes you just need more leverage, right?
More pipe, more better. Wow.
Something's gonna break and it's gonna go through the AC condenser.
What?
Wow.
Gonna
See?
heat it up, maybe?
Ah, jeez. Jeez Louise. I don't wanna have to heat it up, DP. Maybe I can pull, let's see, can I pull the sensor out of here? Or the heat shield here without destroying the sensor. If we can get this off, then maybe. That break? Okay, that is off, and then we'll deal with that once we get it all apart. Hopefully I didn't rip the wires. No, it looks okay. Downpipe coming off here, and you can see really on turbo cars, the downpipe is the most restrictive part of most exhaust systems. So if you upgrade these to like 3-inch, or like we're gonna do 3.5-inch, they open up airflow a ton and really let the turbo breathe and give you a bunch of performance. So this is going to, I'm not gonna throw it into the bin. It's not going into the bin, but at the very least, we're gonna put it on the shelf just because of nostalgia's sake. Like, when's the last time you've seen an original EVO downpipe? Like, look at this thing, and look at the restriction that they have done here. Like, that's, wow, I didn't even notice that. That is probably worth 5-6 horsepower at least. The mystery of the copper piping is solved. I posted a story on Instagram, and within 20 minutes I had an answer. That's how, the power of the internet, everybody. And these two lines run into a radiator, so in the bottom of the radiator, and they usually warm the transmission fluid right away when it's cold. So it's kind of like a little oil warmer, and our radiator is a manual one. So it doesn't have the provisions like an automatic radiator would have for these, the hookup for this. So that is why this is in place here. And you know what? It's staying because guess what? I've got an upgraded radiator and it's from a manual car. This is almost going too easy, everybody. Downpipe is off. Water and oil lines are all disconnected. So essentially we just have the nuts on the manifold and this whole setup will come off. Seems very, very simple. Let's see if these crack loose or we're gonna break a stud here.
I was gonna say, you're gonna jinx yourself with things are going well, Tom.
I know. It is a Mitsubishi, but
bold move
it's
here.
not a Subaru, DP.
It's
and we
true.
all know Subarus, really, they're the ones that have the curses. Thankfully, this fluid film looks like it has worked its magic. Look at that. That one is out. We just have the other guys to go here. So we're gonna, the next clip here is either going to be me cursing and swearing that I snapped something, or we're gonna be removing this turbo. Last nut, everybody. Oh, so smooth. So smooth. Thank you, Mitsubishi gods. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Thank you. There it is. Come on, DP.
Pretty easy.
That was like as
Pretty
easy as it
easy.
comes. Usually,
Yeah.
you know, you want to break all this stuff down, but you can see with this being one piece, we are in business. Turbo is out already.
Before we go bolting on the turbocharger upgrade, I just wanted to show you what I've got and the size of the automatic turbo. So the Evos actually the automatic Evos actually had a smaller turbo than the manual one. So this thing is very tiny in terms of performance and size, and we are going to be going with a stock location turbo upgrade. This is an MHI 18K turbocharger, which is good for around 450 wheel horsepower. And we source this from our friends over at Full Race Motorsports. They've always got these bad boys in stock. And as I said, the beauty of this is a bolt-on setup. So if you were using a stock manifold, stock outlet, this thing just bolts in, as you can see, just like that, and you get massive performance gains. The big advantage of these is they have great mid-range, so they lose very little for spool, but they make a ton more power up top, and obviously you can put more boost through them. And from there, we are not going to be using the stock exhaust manifold. We have turned to Artec Performance once again, and we are going to be using their cast stock location manifold. You can see this thing is beautiful piece. And what we have done is we got this ceramic coated by Stripping Tech just for a little bit more heat protection. So we have proper flow out of the turbo. We have another Artec piece. This is their cast O2 outlet. And man, this is a massive beast, 3.5 inch outlet here. As I mentioned, the downpipe makes a ton of performance, and so does this O2 from a turbo standpoint, where you can evacuate all the exhaust gases out as quickly as possible. One of the upgrades I'm going to make on this 18K turbo is getting rid of the stock wastegate actuator and going with a Turbo Smart one. This is their IWG 75 unit, and basically this is going to give us better boost response, and it's going to have more consistent boost up top. I've got some new gaskets from Mitsubishi for the turbo and the manifold and the outlet. However, I went to the stash and found this Grimspeed exhaust manifold gasket, and this thing is beefy, man. This is like a multi-layer gasket, and certainly looks like it's going to do a better job sealing this. However, it is thicker. So I'm kind of contemplating, you know, the extra, it's probably twice as thick as the factory one, but I do love that it's like, it's rounded here, like properly sealed around this area here, which is where all the leaks happen. So I think I'm going to sacrifice the thickness and go with this bad boy. Look at this thing of beauty here, everybody. Man, stock location turbo setup never looked so pretty. And this is what I love most about it. Bolt on, just gonna slide into here. Oh, there it goes. There we are. All the fresh nuts and washers from Mitsubishi, so we won't have any manifold backing off, have been purchased. The other thing that I'm gonna do is, this is the factory O2 sensor. Ben from Artec Performance actually has an EVO 9 wagon, an automatic one, and he has a video series on his channel. I'll link that. He told me, listen, replace your factory O2 sensor with a fresh one, because it helped us tremendously. It like livened the car up, made it run better. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. Beep, 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 beep. I think I said earlier that I was going to keep this loop, and I have decided to get rid of it because, first of all, it looks bad, and after, you know, kind of thinking about it, really we don't need extra cooling
for the transmission. I'd like to do my best not to lose a lot of fluid here, but I feel like it's gonna be a bit of a gusher.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, okay, plug my finger there.
Yeah.
We ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
What?
Nothing out of that.
Nothing out of that one.
That's weird.
Girth, everybody. Look at the downpipe here. It's impressive. I look at this and I think, how is this actually going to fit up here? But knowing Ben at Artec, he has the fitment down, and this is a 3.5-inch downpipe from them, bolt in, and let's see how it's going to fit up here. Pretty remarkable piece if you look at it. Look at this, wow, yeah. I love the fact that they're using a cast piece at the end here, and man, what a work of art. Nice proper flex section in here in the middle. Yes. Wow. Look at the fitment of this. It's like perfection. Clearance on both sides here. Good clearance from the starter, the oil return, nice V-band. The only thing I regret is I should have Cerakoted this black as well, because now we've got that housing and it goes to this. If this was black, how cool would this be? So anyways, it is, I think, now time for an exhaust system. Here is what we have on the car, or now off the car. This is the factory exhaust system, and what I really like about it is the exhaust tip. Like, I truly believe the stock EVO muffler here is probably as good as they come from a perspective of like OEM plus my kind of style. Like, this tip is just perfect. It's not too big, and this was factory. So, however, this does not flow well at all for any big power, so we are gonna be ditching it. Our friends over at Turn 14 Distribution had one last HKS Super Turbo muffler set up for the EVO 9, and man, I love the sound of these and the quality. These exhaust systems from HKS are just stunning, and as you can see, they do a ton of R&D and make sure to provide all of the parts. Like, this is crazy. So this bracket will bolt up top because they do not use the factory hanger setup. So this bolts onto the frame, and so does this for the brackets. And they even supply HKS branded hangers. Woo. Everybody, look at that.
How much horsepower is that?
I know, but this is a full size, full 3-inch system, but it does have a big resonator here, a full size muffler here, so that you're not gonna get any drone. It's not gonna sound obnoxious. And wait till you guys see this tip. Like, look at this thing. I forgot to mention, this is a JDM specific muffler. If you EVO guys know, the USDM cars actually had longer exhaust tips that came out because the bumpers were a different shape, where these nice like rear JDM bumpers with this diffuser are actually tucked in much tighter and look way better anyways. And man, do I love the inside of this tip too. It just kind of has like almost like a jet, propulsion system look to it. It's just super cool. And everything, as you would expect, fits up perfectly around every corner. Great quality on this system. However, if you guys can see right here, we do need to put something in place. Almost an hour later, we have ourselves a high flow catalytic converter. This is the G Sport one. We've been using G Sport for quite a while now, and this is our ultra high flow 350 to 500 horsepower advanced Gen 1 series. And we find running these cats, like the deterioration in performance is so low versus the stink out the tailpipe. So we always end up putting cats into our systems, and I think it's the right way to go for the environment, DP. So
let's get the planet, everybody.
That's
one
right.
race car at a time.
Exactly. Let's get this thing in here. You can see, man, every time I weld stuff, I line it up perfectly, and then I put it together. You can see this is gonna suck in a little bit, but let me tell you, welding, I love to do it because it's a challenge, but every time I finish it up, I'm like, there's always small little things that I missed or didn't do right, and then it shrinks and I don't account for that, and that's just how it goes. And that is going to wrap up the exhaust system here. I think we've done a great job of optimizing flow. We're gonna have an exhaust system that's gonna sound good and is going to look really, really nice. So I am pumped for that. And sadly, we have run out of time for this episode. So that means this one is going to be a wrap. Thank you everybody for watching. We have a ton of pretty amazing stuff coming for this car, so stay tuned for the next episode. And if you're looking for ways to support us, watching these videos of course helps. Clicking the links in the description for the sponsors that we have also helps. And we also have a Patreon where you'll get things like a monthly podcast, a Discord, lots of great stuff on there. So check that out as well.